Hello, hello, and welcome. Hey, Shauna, how's it going? How's it going? I hope everybody's doing really well. Just gonna do a couple clicks here. There we go. Welcome, welcome to Thursday. Welcome. Okay, why is this not working? Is it working? There we go. I don't know, I might think of being like Mercury retrograde or something, the way my screens are going off. Well, welcome to June. We're into June, June 1st. We're into the month that we're going to be transitioning into summer. So lots of fun this month. Hey, love of source. Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry you're tired. With having a little tyke at home, I can understand why. Yep. And there is still lots going on with astrology. Yeah, like retrogrades. We've got the full strawberry moon coming in on Sagittarius, well, technically on Saturday. But we have that energy to play with now. So yeah, I can understand why astrology is a piece right now. Hey, love of source, how are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Now, today, that's astrology, hence why I have, while I've been down, I have been working. I have a couple different backdrops now, got some stuff going on. So we are in astrology mode today. We're going to be looking at the full strawberry moon. This is a fantastic kind of pre-harvest. We're seeing like a lot of things start to bud and bloom. Historically, this is when we're starting to see some of those strawberries start to form, and there's that anticipation of that harvest because we can start to see things coming forward. So that's the history on why it's the full strawberry moon. Now, a little bit about the astrology. When things come up like a full moon or a planet goes into retrograde or for whatever reason, even when we're born, planets are in certain positions on certain zodiac signs. We actually have the full strawberry moon coming in on Sagittarius, which is that fire sign. It's that grr. It has a little bit of malleability because it is a mutable fire sign. But if you know anybody who's Sagittarius, or if you have Sagittarius in your birth chart, you're gonna know that they're a fire sign. You make them mad and they are going to eat you. So I'm interested to see what happens in this reading with the full strawberry moon. Because with it coming in on Sagittarius, and what I read about what was going to happen for the full strawberry moon in the weekly reading last week, we know that there's going to be some shifting and changing. There is that ability to really get some work done. So I'm interested to see what the full strawberry moon is going to offer us and what's going to happen. So I could not think of better decks than the Everyday Witch Tarot and Oracle. I absolutely love the bright colors, the vibrancy, the fun, the play. We kind of need that. We need this, I guess, boldness, the beauty. And I absolutely adore the illustrator. Her name is Elizabeth Alba. Oh, I said Jessica Alba's the actor, not the artist. But Elizabeth Alba, she is fantastic. She's actually the illustrator behind the Tarot of the Owl that came out last month. So amazing. And I actually saw on her social media that she's going to be having another deck come out with somebody else, and it's a Halloween deck. So, oh yeah, that's going to be hitting Kickstarter soon. So eventually it will hit my screen and my table too. So let's get into this. Let's get into, well, what the full strawberry moon has to share with us. Okay. Oh, not a cheery card. The Five of Pentacles. Talks about that isolation, that disconnect. Kind of literally feeling like you're out in the storm. Oh, I love this card. The Knight of Swords. I kind of enjoy the fact that this is the card where Pamela Coleman Smith drew in the original deck, where you've got this knight, he's on his horse, and he is just giving her into the storm. Well, he's given her into like a flock of birds. So I really do enjoy that rendition of the turn down my, oh, that's not what I want. Whoa, way too much light. There we go. Wanted to turn it down a bit. That he's kind of in this flock of birds that is like all consuming. Okay. What was it? I'm going to flip the music. It started talking and I'm not sure why. Okay. Now we have the Seven of Cups. That 7 deadly sins, that unsure, the veil of mystery. Oh, so many choices. And finally, the King of Swords. Lots of decision here, lots of using your head. We've got the son and the dad here, all in that Vulcan state. We need to use our head rather than letting our heart kind of lead us astray and push us aside, because our heart, we're kind of feeling left out. We have that baggage. We have that feeling that there is so much more on the other side, yet we're stuck here. It talks about that illusion, that uncertainty. We need to start to use our head and look at the situation at hand. We need to kind of embrace this very wisely king, if you will. The King of Swords is the everyday personification, or one of the everyday personifications of the Emperor. We need that stability, that groundedness, especially when it comes to what we know. Know that we're not going to have all the answers, and that's okay. But when we ask the questions and we kind of step outside that box, outside our situation, outside of how we're feeling, and look at it in as if you were looking at a story, or if, say, you had a twin and they were in the same situation. We need that kind of outside perspective, a little bit of distance, getting out of that heart, getting out of that illusion. This gives you the ability to start to assess the situation. We can start to look at how we want to go forward. What's that's going to look like? And know that everybody's plan and action forward is going to be different, because we're very much on different perspectives, on different pathways. Sure, we may cross over. Sure, we may be walking with people, but know that there's a different path. We may feel like we're on the same path. However, our strategies, our passions will be a little bit different. So be aware that that difference is okay. Embrace that difference. And know that, and everybody is always so worried about, oh, what if I make the wrong choice? When you're looking at things, especially when you're taking slow, steady steps, it's not going to be a wrong choice. It's going to be different learning opportunities. That takes out that, oh, what if I am wrong and I quote unquote fail? No, this is about branching out and learning. These choices all are things that we need to look at. Opportunities, events that would impact us in different ways. Yes, some of them, I won't lie, they're going to be easier. They're going to bring in some, well, I guess just ease of action, where the universe supports us and slides things in to help us get through things. Well, other things, that's going to be a little bit mucky and we're going to have to kind of sludge through it. You're right, Shauna. Slow and steady is hard. However, when we jump and try and do those leaps of faith, that's when we become really unstable. We see ourselves kind of tumble backwards and regress. And the hardest part to that is that it's not that you're going to regress back to this current spot. it's like a downward slide. You slide way back, and then you've got to get yourself back up and keep going. So yeah, no, slow and steady is hard. Reflection does help, and I encourage people to take some time and do ongoing reflection. On my Ko-fi page, now I don't know if this is gonna work.
Complete.
Apparently some charge is complete. I don't know if that's gonna work. Nope, it didn't. So on my Ko-fi page, I have a workbook. We'll get to my Ko-fi page and I'll just copy and paste it. And it's just a reflection. There we go. It's a reflection workbook where you can do some reflection each month, each season, set some intentions. When we're doing that slow and steady, it can be really hard to realize how much work we've done and how far we've come. So that will help. And I really encourage people to sit down at those natural turning points. Like I said, the months, but also we have a solstice coming up. Summer solstice is on the 21st. So we have that ability to look at some of this, what we've done so far. And the key with reflection though, it's not about, oh my God, I didn't get this done. Oh my God, I didn't get that done. It's more about, okay, this is what I've achieved. This is what I want to continue to work on. That way you are staying in that positive rather than getting into that negative where you're like, oh, well, I failed. Because we don't need any more ammunition to bring ourselves down. We kind of have a superpower when it comes to beating ourselves up and bringing ourselves down. All right, let's look at what else is going to help. And I should mention that Ko-fi page, I do also do intention and reflection sheets every month with my Patreon group as well. It's just kind of an added perk of supporting me is that I do lots of different extra tools. So each month, I think it was yesterday that it was posted that there was the June intention and reflection sheet. So it's not one big go, it's smaller chunks, and sometimes that's easier. Yeah, just lots of different ways. You can have infinite lives to do what you want. Yeah, we do have lots of opportunities to come back. The challenge with that, love, is that with the infinite lives, we also add in more and more baggage. So what you've carried on in a past life, what is carried on your astral family DNA, the physical family DNA, those traumas, those hardships, those challenges, they start to weigh us down even more. And that's why so many of us have chosen to come back at this time, is that we know that there was a lot of stuff that we needed to do and what we could do, because we've never had access to this much information, these many tools and techniques. The communities, they're able to grow. We don't have to hide in the shadows. Energy healers, light healers, it doesn't matter what you want to label things as. We have that ability now to come out of those shadows and do some of this work. So yes, we do have lots of lives to do this. It's just we always come back with A, the veil of amnesia, and B, the heaviness of those past lives and everything else that we're carrying. So yeah, we do have lots of time. All right. Oh, I love this card. Go with the flow. Many of us are paddling upstream. We are feeling the burn. like I said, we're feeling isolated and we're kind of feeling left out. But the heaviness of the last 6 months, the last couple of years, we're just feeling bagged because we're paddling upriver. Take a breath. Let things kind of naturally flow. See where that goes, how that feels. We'd like to be in the driver's seat. Unfortunately, we're like this. We're in a snowstorm. We can't truly see clearly. And well, most of us can't truly hear clearly either because our clairs are shut down. But we can't get the full picture. So take that breath. Where is your life trying to naturally lead you? Where are your supports, your high vibrational supports trying to lead you? You don't have to necessarily go there mindlessly, but again, we can use our critical thinking skills, that assessment, to look at why are we working so hard? What's going on? And where is it that life is trying to lead you? Where is this path going? Because sometimes we have such a very concrete and rigid idea of what that end result should look like that we're missing so many opportunities. We're literally missing the boat. Air magic. I love it. So air magic very much connects in with the swords because swords are air symbol. Air magic talks about, well, listening to that wind, listening to that whisper within self. And I think that whisper, that high vibrational self that we really struggle to hear sometimes, needs to be let out. Now, if you are looking at doing some air magic, things like smudging, clearing out space, super helpful, helping you to feel stronger and calmer in your own space, in your own environment, to help clear out that mind. Breathing, again, we have that air. When we get overwhelmed, when we're feeling just kind of lost and confused, frustrated, and frustrated is a big one right now, lots of frustration. We don't always breathe fully. We do those shallow pants. It's so helpful to take those deep breaths in so that we're using that frontal cortex and we're able to go forward. We're able to push ourselves, gain more insight, gain the ability to use our tools, our abilities, create, and problem solve. All right. What further insight and information can we share with my friends so that they can get the most out of the full strawberry moon? I love it. The Nine of Cups. Then reversal. So that's, oops, there we go. That's what the 9 looks like. 9 of Cups, of course, is that abundance card. And it's not so much the physical abundance. It does bleed into it, but it also talks about those other aspects, the creativity, the emotion, the spirituality, because it's the cup, not the pentacle. The 9 of Pentacles is the other abundance card. And yeah, and I think that's the piece, is that we're so focused in and we're feeling so just kind of lost and, well, like I said, frustrated, that we're missing and not truly being able to embrace some of those pieces that are right there. They're right well, literally behind us, supporting us. They're part of us. It's just we don't identify them. And it can be hard because it's not that tangible physical piece. The tangible physical pieces, they're easier to identify because they're right in our hand. These are more, well, they're harder to identify because they're on the emotion. They're on different planes. The King of Cups in reversal. Of course, that talks about that emotional control, that emotional stability. So with the King of Cups upside down, it's not surprising. Feeling left out, feeling frustrated, feeling unsure, feeling confused, that our emotions are high. That emotional roller coaster, it's topsy-turvy, roly, poly. And we're not able to, again, have that control of self. I think that's where that breath is going to be really important. The King of Cups, he's on his head. We're not able to have that stability within ourselves, which also then goes to the point of when we're unstable, everything around us destabilizes as well. How come some souls can become so dark that they have? I would say life experience. It just depends on what happens. A soul can have a lot of heaviness. So there's not a really just a one answer for that, love. And I don't know if they can technically restart. Yeah, Shauna, you're right. It could be a refusal to heal. I think of the individual, like right away that comes up is karmic debt. When we do something, whether it be positive or negative, an energy goes out, right? And if it's a positive thing, we're excited for karma to come back and swat us about a bit. But when it's something that we're not too proud of, and it may be low vibrational, it comes back, but it may not come back right away. And that can happen as well with the positive. Karma, it really works with divine timing on that. But yeah, the darkness can come in so many ways. So karma can have an impact. Karmic debt can have an impact. And of course, my favorite, free will. People can make some pretty funky choices. So yeah, and I don't know if they can technically restart from fresh. You can start to rebalance and repay that cosmic debt and karmic debt. But I think of somebody who may have, like some of the serial killers we've seen. I don't think they can restart. I think that it's something that they're going to have to make amends somehow, but I don't know how they would restart necessarily. Because some of them, they're struggling to get back in. And they're not high vibrational anymore. So there's a lot of unknown to that answer, but I can tell you that the darkness, there's so many ways that they can become dark. So one thing I can say is that in this reading, we do have the brothers here, double kings. Kings are the 14th card in the minor arcana. When you have that that multiple 14, the angels are reminding you to be aware of that energy that you're putting out, because what you put out is going to be all around you and it's going to come back at you. Not only in that kind of karmic energy, but how you treat yourself, how your energies are within. They're reflected back by those around you. So coworkers, families, and friends, even the pizza delivery guy. If you're beating yourself up and you're feeling really, really funky and out of control, that's when people start to treat you poorly, because they're reflecting the same energy and treatment of self. So be aware of that. When you're having a bad day, my suggestion, and this is an easy one, when you're feeling really funky, if you can, take a shower and dump it. If you are out in public, you're at work or wherever, go to a sink and run your hands under water and let that gunk out. Let that energy out. And remember, breathe. Take those deep breaths. You need to take control of that emotion. You need to take control of self. Easy ways to do that is through taking control of your breath, because you're able to use your faculties. You're able to assess the situation better. Like I said at the beginning, head is going to be really important. That third eye thinking center is going to be essential over the next 5 days. I love it. The Queen of Cups. The second most intuitive card in the deck. The everyday personification of the High Priestess. We have the reminder to not minimize creativity, compassion, and of course, like I said earlier, that high vibrational intuitional self. When we listen to that, and I know it's super hard, it's like a whisper where our ego is screaming at us. We're just like, oh my God, enough, turn down the volume. But when we quiet that mind, when we have that control of self, we can start to gain access to that high vibrational self, that higher consciousness, and we're able to make some pretty good choices for ourselves. The cup that's going to make things a little bit easier shines a little bit brighter when we listen to the Queen here. Ways that we can listen to the Queen is through creativity, getting out of our head, getting out of our way. Not only will she help us to navigate some of these pieces, she's going to help us see some of these amazing, amazing upright cups, these supports that we have. She works in tandem, of course, with that King of Swords, where we're using our head. Because to connect into the Queen of Cups and to the King of Swords, you have to remember to use your third eye thinking center. We need that intuitive, creative aspect of the third eye, but we also want that thinking center of the third eye and our frontal cortex. Good morning, Yvette. Hello and welcome. So the full strawberry moon is being really clear here, guys. Take some time for you. Do some reflection. See where that path is going to go. Where is it that you keep being led to? Why do we have so many resistances and challenges about doing that? Yeah, there might be some uncertainty, some gray areas, but where is it kind of leading you? Again, when we take those slow steps, it's a little bit easier to slow things down and say, you know what, I'm going to get out. This is my stop. I'm parking my boat and here I go. And don't forget to have that compassion for you. You may not enjoy and like everywhere where you're at, but no, there are things that are going right. Start to focus in on those. Get out of your head. Get out of that funk. Get into that creativity and use our head. That, I won't lie, if you scroll back up, someone had also mentioned the exact same thing. You're right, slow and steady is incredibly, incredibly hard. However, when we do that reflection, we realize how much growth we've actually had. So that is what the strawberry moon wants to share with us. So, like I posted in the thumbnails and stuff like that, I'm going to do some readings for my friends in chat. Shauna was the first person in to say hi. I wasn't even I was getting my tea and she was like, I'm here, welcome. And then Love, and then Yvette. So if you guys want to let me know, if you want a reading, I can definitely help out with that. And Yvette, I think this is your first time here, so welcome to my channel. I know that Shauna and Love have been here before. Is there a deck you guys want me to grab? I usually have a couple decks. Oh, sorry, Love, you got a long message here. So Streamlabs sometimes doesn't let long messages control the... There is an element of luck.
Charge complete.
I don't know what's charging and it keeps telling me it's complete. So there, yes, you're right. There is an element of luck, but it's also more about choice, because there are dark forces and dark influences on all of us, and it's just how we choose. Some of us may have a better ability to navigate it, have better coping mechanisms. And that goes, like I said earlier, it goes down to, you know, the baggage we have from our ancestral DNA and our high vibrational family DNA. So, yeah. Okay, so Shauna, yes, you'd like a reading. Yvette, Love, did you want one as well? Shauna, Love, do you guys have any choices on decks? I have a few of them here with me. You guys have been on my stream on YouTube and Twitch, so let me know if there's a deck that you're like, oh, do you have that one? And I can see if I can grab it. With my mobility being, well, slower than slow, I have most of the common ones that I my go-to, I guess. Okie dokie. Absolutely. I think I'm feeling this one. Let's bring out Crystal Visions. I do have an angel deck. I'm dropping my decks, but I do have my angel deck. Okay, so why don't we'll keep with the Everyday Witch Tarot. I've got the Crystal Visions and my Angel Tarot. There we go. Okay. Okay, Shauna, those are the choices. You did say dealer's choice. Is there one that you would prefer? And Love and Yvette, if you want to let me know which, well, I know Love wants the Angel Tarot, but if you guys have questions, let me know. And then Yvette, if you have a choice on deck, all my decks are based on the Rider Waite deck, so they're the same 78 cards. It's just imagery and kind of, I guess, genre, if you will. Hi, Jordan. Welcome. How much are readings? How about free? Does that work for you? Shauna, I'm going to go with the Everyday Witch because I think that's a good one. And I will do a general for you. I don't usually charge on readings like this. If you were to get a private reading, for sure, then you have my undivided attention and there's nobody watching. It's just for you. Where this is more about other people watching, this is an entertainment piece, it's very different. If you wanted a longer reading, then sure, we would look at it, but yeah. Oh, I love it. So Shauna, we have the Fool. 0 card in the Major Arcana. I'm a little bit sad. You can kind of see the cat in the back there. I'm kind of sad that it A, wasn't white, and B, it wasn't kind of hanging on her foot, kind of like the original Rider-Waite, but that's all good. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And finally, the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. And I know that this is probably not fair, but I do know some of your background here, Shauna. With everything that's going on in your family, it's not surprising to see that there is an exhaustion. We've got the Knight of Pentacles upside down, and then we have the 10 of Pentacles upside down. There's an exhaustion and exasperation about trying to get everything in order, all the ducks in a row, the kids, the everything. And not to mention all the other aspects that we have fun with, where we're looking at trying to, better self. And I think that a big key piece here that we're missing is the stability. I think you said earlier this week or last week that the only stability you have is at work. Well, we need to start to bring in some more stability into that home life. And you may want to look at doing some grassroots stuff where you're looking at getting some calm, which I know is incredibly challenging, especially giving your little monkey. He is a powerhouse, especially when he brings his sister in, or if his sister just happens to so many things, brings his sister in. The two of them are going to be amazing force. I'm just really hoping that they choose for good. I'm sure that in their toddler age, that good is going to be in a bit of the gray area. So my suggestion is to look at grounding and stabilizing you, especially with what the full strawberry moon just said. Use this next 5 days and really help to ground and stabilize you. And you don't have to add in a lot more for you, because I already know you've got like a list and a half plus. Look at in the morning with your coffee or tea, add in maybe some cinnamon, add some kitchen witchery here, add in nutmeg, add in those earthy like that earthy taste, so that you can, well, you start to feel a little bit more stable on the inside. He's so strong and I'm just lost. Yeah. And I think that you might find that when your daughter decides to grace her presence, that she will combat him and bring him down a couple notches. Do you know what I mean? Whereas he's got a very fiery presence. I think hers is going to be more, and I've said this to you before, that it's going to be that gentle fae energy. And so I think that might help as well. It gives the pair of them, like I said, the mischief will be much. Atta girl, right? But yeah, definitely bring in that kitchen witchery. because it's going to help. I know crystals are a big no-no in your house, but you can bring in different elements. That cottage, the kitchen, those aspects of witchery I think will help you, because you need to start to ground and stabilize. There's a lot of things that you want to do, that you need to do, but you can't do them right now. Things are just too much on the head. And then we've got the Fool here. The things that you're trying to do and that you want to do, they're important, especially with Freya. Freya's going to be an amazing support for you, but you haven't had the chance to even work with her. You haven't made her wand that you need to do. And again, it just adds to that list, right? So it is going to be about you looking at some of that old school stuff, some of the stuff that we sometimes forget. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. Okay? Don't forget to have fun and enjoy. The Fool has that carefree, very playful energy. And we're missing some of that because we're chasing a toddler. We're dealing with the older son. We're dealing with the demands of house, of home, of life. Know that we can't see where the Fool is going to step off next, but that's okay. That unknown is okay. We have to start to trust in that our supports, whether it be in the high vibration or in our physical, will be there with us. Because there could be a ledge that it's just a larger step. There could be a ledge here that we can't see. How do I know you haven't made your wand? I'm a psychic. Yes and no. I just also know where you're at. I can feel it, right? So I would really encourage you, especially over the summer solstice, to look at maybe asking for whether it be a night to self or a day, like during the day. The summer solstice, what day is summer solstice? I know physically it's the 21st. Okay, it's a Wednesday. But even around, oh my God, no, hold off till the 24th. June 24th, I would encourage you to do your wand. Sit down with Freya, because I can guarantee you your daughter will join you. It's International Fairy Day. That would be off the charts. Off the charts, my friend. Do you have any other questions, Shauna? And I think that once you start to get back into that, because we get into that state of tizzy where we're like, oh my God, I can't deal with anymore. I can't deal with this. You need that fun and play. Out of lilac wood. Interesting. You know what? I have no idea what this one's going to look like. I just know that she told me that. I think that this is going to be something that I want you to trust in your intuition. Upside down, right side up. Joy and delight. Ooh, camera's not focusing. There we go. I think that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, we need to slow down. We need to start to go back into those basics, but we can't forget that fun. And I think that the more that we connect into that, the more you're going to see some of this stuff naturally shift, because we're attracting and manifesting that blah and oh my God energy. Thank you for letting me read for you. Let me know if you have any more questions. You know how to get a hold of me. Love for Source, are you still around? What else did I miss? All right, so Love, you wanted the angel deck. Did you tell me what you wanted, what we're reading on? Vet is saying the angel on a general. Okay. And Jordan, what you should expect in love for the month of June. Perfect. I can do that. So while Love is typing, just let me know what kind of reading you'd like, a general, if you have a question. I know you want the angel deck. So Jordan, you can pick your deck. The deck I just used for Shauna's reading is the Everyday Witch Tarot. I have that one. Ooh, it's upside down. Then I also have, this is the Crystal Visions Tarot. And then the deck that I'm going to be using next is an Angel Tarot. They're all based on the same 78 cards. Spirit guided, okay, definitely. All right, let's see what information. Okay, you can have that card. Your spirit guides want to share. Wish they would keep the cards on the table, not try and huck them about. Love, have you had any success with working with your guardian angel? Have you got his name yet? And I'll keep asking. And you don't have to share his name. You can just say yes or no. And a lot of it is going to be second guessing self. I know when I was trying to find out mine, I was like, no, that's just too simple. And I just like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. And then long time later, I was like, okay, actually I was right. And to this day, I still second guess myself. It's not like it's something that I don't think we can ever grow out of that. I don't know. I really wish they didn't have the pips as boring as they do, but okay. The Seven of Pentacles. And this is the card that usually you see with the bush, with the pentacles and the guy leaning on the tool. Yeah, that's the one. Love, you know what you could do? You could also try to connect in right before you go to sleep. So yeah, a lot of people think that they have to sit down and do a big meditation. It doesn't always have to be that way. You can ask him to share information and his name while you sleep, and then ask him to help you remember in the morning. Trick to that though is please have a piece of paper and pen right at hand and just write it down. Don't even really open your eyes, just grab the paper and blurt it out. Showering, again, another way that we're getting out of our head, right? Many people, they say they think the best when they're showering. That's a piece that you can try. Or getting into creativity. Again, we're getting out of our head. That's the biggest piece. Getting out of our head because we will always overthink it. The Emperor. Fourth card in the Major Arcana. It's in reversal. And then the Four of Wands. I'm not going to turn it over because it's not that exciting. The only reason I really enjoy this angel deck is that it doesn't have a box that says, Archangel Michael said this. Yeah, you may have channeled that 10 years ago, but it doesn't apply to me right now. And I really did enjoy the Major Arcana and the Royal cards out of this deck. So, all right, Four of Wands. That is a gateway. It's a celebration card. It's the card that usually has the people cheering, and there's a canopy and they're dancing, and it's a lot of fun. So what really stands out is we have double fours upside down right beside each other. There's only 3 cards and 2 of them are fours. In angel messages, that multiple 4, the angels are encouraging you to work on that foundation. that stability. And that's really what we need to look at right now, that there's a lot of instability going on in our everyday, and then also in that bigger picture. We need to bring in that stability, and it starts with the inside, whether it's meditation, whether it's using crystals, using food. Food is an amazing way for us to gain stability, especially if we use those things that, well, they're right there. Like I had said a little while ago, even adding something like cinnamon and or nutmeg to a coffee really does help with bringing in that balance. And it's not like you're adding a lot. You can add it into, like if you have the little pods or something like that, you can just use a tea ball or something to add in and infuse that cinnamon, that earthy energy. Adding in some spices like rosemary, basil, any of the plant-based stuff, well, actually almost any spice, because it's all derived from like roots and plant. It helps to bring in that stability. Yeah, and if you have no balance, and if you're really struggling with that, that's the work we need to look at doing, is bringing it in. Because if we can bring it into our self in our everyday, it transcends into the rest of our lives. Honey's not really earthy. Honey would work more, I would have thought, more on your sacral or possibly third eye. Ooh, Streamlabs just decided to spam us. I'm really sorry. With the same thing. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, it's funny how different foods impact us in different ways. On my channel here, I do have some teachings on the chakras. I went through the 7 chakras. It's going to be working with the root chakra that you want the stability and balance. That's our grounding chakra. But yeah, hey, I'm all about the honey and the bread too, because honey's really good. You can add in honey, that sweetness, but sweet is more kind of, like I said, sacral-ish. But the sacral will help as well, because sacral is connected into that fire. It's going to help bring you into that sense of connection, that sense of, well, meaning in our day. So right now they're really encouraging that foundation for you. You have no patience. That is going to be something that is probably the patience and stability, and my guess is compassion for self is going to be really important here. Once you grasp that, you're going to see that gateway open, because this is a major learning for you. It's a pattern you want to break and really take hold of. So start off small. I would start working with your root chakra. I would look at how you can reinforce some of that grounded stability. It's about you taking ownership of you in a positive way, and so that you can start to, well, get yourself up on your feet to move forward. Do you have any other questions about that, love? And know that these don't have to be pieces that you like a lot of extra. Like I know that you said that you don't have, like, you haven't meditated. Meditation, it depends on how long you have or how long you want to meditate for, but some of it you can just add in. And it's just a little piece, right? Like intentional bathing, right? Or putting intention to sleep. things that are going to make it a little bit easier for you so that it's not just another thing, because none of us need another thing. Ooh, love it. The sun and the stars. Talks about balance. Of course, the sun, that's a masculine. The moon, that of course is feminine. Yes, astrology impacts us. Yes, the energies from above impact us. But the important piece is that balance, and that we don't, again, become hyper-focused with it, because that it takes away from what we really need to work on. It's really amazing how our ego can, it can redirect us and have us hyper-focus in on stuff, and we get nothing done. We stay in the same spot because we're hyper-focused in on things. So do make sure how much time we're spending on what. And that's part of that emperor energy. He is very much about that, those schedules, that routine. He wants to have things very clear cut. Numbers 1 and 7. Yeah, that would be, I could, and that's another thing. Perfectionism, it's through the eye of the beholder, and then what happens is that perfect always changes depending on what has influenced us, how we're feeling, and other people's interpretations of it. So be mindful. That balance, that stability is going to be really important for you. Meditation to dig deep. So making sure, I'm not sure why my camera is not wanting to focus. Okay, focus camera. Follow the card. You can do it. There we go. Meditation is really fantastic. Again, don't hyper focus in on it. But when you're in it, be all in it. Don't judge self. If your mind wanders, just thank your mind for letting you remember that was important and you needed bread on your grocery list or whatever comes up. But know that you want to be in that part rather than just kind of going through the motions. We have to be a very active bystander or active participant. We have the 7 of Pentacles. That's that work card. This will take a bit of work. It doesn't have to be like back-breaking work, but I think that intention, and if you need to, schedule it in so that you have that time. Give yourself that permission and energy to do what you want to do. Get that stability, get that balance. Yeah, that's why I do a lot of guided meditations, and I encourage people to do guided meditations, because the mind doesn't have a lot of time to wander, because there's a voice and you're like, oh, what is it saying? And if your mind wanders, it's not a huge deal. Don't beat yourself up about it. I couldn't figure out why I struggled so much with meditation, and it's because my mind is trying to channel all the time. So it's literally about setting boundaries. Okay, guys, I'm going to try and meditate here. Can you guys help to make sure that it's quiet? I'd like to get some work done here. So when you set those intentions for you, make sure that you're not only setting the intentions for you, but you're clear with those high vibrational beings. This is what you want. You can ask them to support you in, diving a bit deeper, getting a little bit more done, because they can help kind of break up some of that gunk, some of that stuckness. Does that make sense? Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Okay, Yvette, are you still around? I'm not sure if Yvette is here. Jordan, are you around? Not sure who's around. I won't lie, I like to do some of these readings on Twitch because I have a better ability to see who's about. Well, you're welcome. Hi, Yvette. You're very welcome, love. I have a better ability to do that, and I have a better system for keeping people in a queue. Okay, so you wanted the angel deck as well, right, Yvette? And I think you said, just gonna scroll up here. A general reading from the angels. Absolutely. Oh, you're both here. Perfect. See, I can't tell. All right. Okay, so Yvette will do a general reading. Information from the angels. Have you worked with your guardian angel or with the angels before? Okay, it's not a big deal. They're there, whether you work with them or not. Everybody has at least one guardian angel with them. You've got one. She's beautiful. Wonderful energy. Okay, so the card that decided to try and jump onto the floor, but I caught in the last minute. The Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, it's kind of a not backing down on self kind of card. This is the card where there's a fellow standing and he's holding a wand and there's 6 people trying to beat him down with with their wands. So all you see is their wands in the air. So it does talk about not giving up on self, not giving up and being mindful of those battles. Praying. Okay, so praying is fantastic. We pray to like the universal energy, to the god, the goddess, the deities. It has to have that kind of larger energy. Angels you can't pray to. They don't. It's not that you can't pray to them. It's just not how we communicate with them. Because they're the messengers. What angel means is that they're the messenger. I know Christianity and Catholicism have really taken ownership of angels, sort of, but they've been around a lot longer than what the Bible has them for. Perfect. And they'll hear you. The best thing about angels is that they're always there. Like your guardian angel was with you when you were conceived, and they will be with you when you pass. They will be one of the beings that take your hand and help you over to the other side. It's not hard to work with the angelic energy because all we have to do is use our words. There's no problem with them hearing us. We struggle to hear them. They send us messages, and they are the most patient beings you'll ever come across. Especially your guardian angel. I swear to God, mine has a bruise on their head from banging their head against the wall on how many dumb mistakes I've made. So, back to the reading. 7 of Wands does talk about not backing down, especially on self. The Page of Pentacles. So the pages, they're that childlike, innocent energy. That pentacle, again, we're back to the groundedness, right? That stability. And a lot of us, especially over the last 3 years, became very destabilized. And then we had a lot of energies, whether it was energies on this plane, on other planes, Astrologically, there was a lot coming at us, and we don't feel as stable. We're still trying to recoup, if you will. The Four of Cups. And then finally, the Eight of Swords. Okay. So, just need a little bit more space here. Weak. Okay. So you have all four suits across the board, which is very atypical. Usually I do a 3-card spread, but the 3 cards came out and then a 4th bonus card came out. So you have all 4 there. The 4 everyday tools that the tarot has. We have air in Swords of Knowledge, the cups in emotion and intuition, pentacles in that earthy groundedness, and then the wands in that passion fire. What really sticks out is the kind of heaviness. The Eight of Swords talks about being pent in, and it feels like, it almost feels like there's a ribbon or a cord that's wrapping around you, and it seems to be getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And you want to break free, but you're just tired of fighting. So know that there are aspects that we're missing, and that there is that support for you. It's just reaching out and, like I said, using your words. Because, yeah, and it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just that's where we're starting from. Yeah. So my suggestion would be is to take that deep breath, to remember to breathe. The trick with the Eight of Swords is that this is usually where there's a maiden, and she's all bound up, and there's 8 swords around her, and she feels isolated and alone. But a lot of that is her doing. There's no one around there. So know that interpretations, expectations, we're our worst enemy, right? We're the hardest on ourselves. So the angels are being mindful of saying, hey, look, you need to be a little bit more gentle with you, because you keep going like this and it's a downward spiral, and it's not going to get any better. Speaking up for yourself, yeah, using your words. And it may not be in your makeup to be that, I don't know, a Karen, if you will, where you're like freaking out and being that boisterous person, and you don't have to be. I think that for you, it's going to be more about that negative self-talk, that minimization, and the hyper focusing in on the stuff that isn't working. And when we start to minimize and acknowledge that, and part of it is, one, being reflective. How am I treating myself? Especially if you start to feel funky. People who are just starting into this, I encourage people to set like a timer or something every couple hours, just even to check in. How am I feeling? What are my thoughts about myself? Because that not only impacts how we feel at that moment, but it also impacts how other people treat us. Because if we're beating ourselves up, people will pick up on that energy. They'll pick up on it on a subconscious level and then treat us the same way. And it just perpetuates the problem even more. Yeah, and that's a lot, right? It's hard to have compassion and love for self and feel able to stand up and be that independent person. On my channel here, I'm not sure if you've been to my channel before, but I do have a number of playlists. that have meditations, I have healings, I have all sorts of supports. They're all guided, so you can go in and work on some of these pieces. So there's a number of them that you may want to try. One of them is a meditation I did with Archangel Raguel, where you're balancing out thoughts and feelings of self. He is so amazing at helping us to literally balance life. An amazing, gentle energy that will help to look at some of that negative self-talk. It'll help to start to bolster that inner confidence, if you will. Perfect. All of my meditations are guided, so it's easy to do. With that compassion and self-love, Archangel Shamuel across the board. And I've got 3 meditations with him. Because I won't lie, self-love and compassion, they're not skills that humanity, we excel at. So those are pieces that you can do. You're going to find that the more that you take time for you, the more that you can start to feel able to spread your wings. You're going to start to feel more able to really have that confidence, that compassion, that fulfillment. So I would definitely start there. And if you want to start to work with your guardian angel, just start using your words. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to yourself saying, hey, can we do this? You can think it. I know having a full-blown conversation with nobody that's physically in the room does put red alerts for some people, because then the whole crazy world comes in. But you can have that conversation in your head. And sometimes I feel it's easier if, especially when you're starting out, to do it if you're in the bath or shower, because you're calmer and you're not focused in on some of this stuff. You're able to just focus in on what you want, right? Have that conversation. And the first thing I always encourage people to do is to start out with their guardian angel is ask them their name. There is a name you agreed on before you came in to this world, and they will share that with you. The high vibrational, like angels and stuff like that, they don't have a gender. Their energy. They don't have a name. They don't. Our rudimentary language, and it doesn't matter if it's English or what language you speak, that's not theirs. The universal language, if you will, it's like a melody or a song. It's a feeling. And so it's not like they have a name like we do. So there's a name that they agreed upon because they know guardian angels have worked with humanity for forever, and they know, as do archangels and all the other high vibrational beings. When we're looking at naming stuff, that's a human thing. I love it. Speak your mind. And that can be really challenging. Not sure why the camera doesn't want to pick up the bottom part there, but speaking our mind can be really, really hard if we're not feeling confident on the inside. Start out small and start out with the people who are supporting you, who understand you, who they don't beat you down. It's a positive relationship. And if you need to, start working with self, speaking mind with self. And I think that reflection piece is going to be really helpful for you, where you're looking at, okay, this is where I'm at. It's not good or bad. It's just where I'm at. This is what I've got done. This is what I want to do. Working into setting intentions. So before you get into a bath, Say, okay, I want to work with my guardian angel. I want to clear out some of this stuff so that I can feel better. And then give yourself that time. Give yourself permission and energy to do what it is you want to do. Just remember to have some fun and explore. Don't get too caught up in beating self down, because that's just going to add more fuel to this. Have some fun. Do the things that make you happy, especially on that creative level, because that's, again, another way we're going to get out of our head. Do you have any other questions? Honesty is hard. And know that authentic self can be very challenging to embrace, especially as you're starting off. Again, that's slow and steady. Because if you start to break shells too quickly, or if you start to dig down too far, you can really start to destabilize yourself, because people around you react badly. That's not you. That's not your normal you. What's wrong with you? And then, yeah, then it's all sorts of crazy. Jordan's like, I'm still here. Good. I was going to ask if you were still around. So, yeah, start there. I'm going to put, while I'm here and thinking about it, I don't know if it's come up recently, but I'm going to copy this. I have a Discord. That's my Discord. If you guys have questions, you guys can connect in with there. I'm live on YouTube, but also on Twitch. And I do a lot of other stuff on Twitch, but here I do healing and supports, that type of thing. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for joining. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, feel free. You guys can join on my Discord. I read on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays, unless there's something like this where I'm doing the full moon or a specific reading. I'm going to be on Twitch later today. But yeah, this is what I love to do. This just brings me joy. So. Okay, Jordan. Very, very patient. Did you say what you wanted? I know you wanted the angel deck. Oh, here we go. What you could expect in love from in the month of June. Can I ask, Jordan, are you looking for a special someone, or are you in a relationship? Because it can help me narrow stuff down. And also, if you can give me the gender of your love interest, it helps me to know if I'm using he, she, or they. I have no preference. It's what makes you happy. I have no idea. And it gets really confusing if I'm using the wrong pronouns. And I've done that before. Oh, good. Yeah. Check out the meditations. You may even want to check into some of the teaching pieces. I have some stuff on like the chakra system that can help, especially when you're looking at trying to build up self and self-love. Single, and we're looking for guys. Okay, so I will use the pronoun he. I've done readings and people tell me their pronouns. And it gets really confusing. Yeah. So, but that's part of live reading, right? Okie dokie, here we go. I have the Hanged Man. He's the 12th card in the Major Arcana. He's known as the Let It Go guy. Ooh, the Sun in reversal. Another major arcana. And then the Ace of Pentacles. I love it. Okay, so it feels like, and I'm not entirely sure, you don't have to ever put anything in chat that you don't want, but these are questions that you can answer for you. It kind of feels like it's been something that has been on your mind and you've been hyper focusing in on. And I know that we get to an age where, you know, all our friends are getting married. We're getting pressure from family, acquaintances. Why aren't you married? When are you having kids? Those expectations and demands, those societal norms or whatever, they can be so overwhelming, and it just becomes almost like a migraine where people are like, but why? It's gonna be about you not hyper focusing in on it so much, which can be really hard because, like I said, you get other people who are pushing you for it, and you feel stuck. Know that the moment that you start to kind of relax on this, allow that natural energy, that natural warmth and light shine through for you, that you're going to naturally attract him. It doesn't feel like that he's too far away because we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is new beginnings. So know that this is a very positive piece because we do have the Sun in reversal. And it does talk about you taking more of that, less, like, not direct, but obsessive mode, and letting go of it and enjoying, playing, having fun. The Sun card is one of the few cards that has very few meanings. If you were ever to Google what a card, like if you were to Google Ace of Pentacles, like you have pages and pages of meaning. The Sun has not as many meanings. It talks about the joy, the love, the happiness of life. Now, even in reversal, it does mean that. It's just like how when you have a summer's day, you still have the warmth of the sun, but there's clouds. There's a bit of a cloud cover. You can still feel it, but it's not as full. The moment we start to look at things that bring you joy, activities that bring you joy, the higher our energetical signature is. We start to raise that vibration. I've said a number of times in this session that when we, how we treat ourselves or how we feel, other people reflect that. Well, that's our energy. If we have an energy that is full of joy and happiness, we raise our energetical signature. Now, soulmates, twin flame, they're looking for an energetical signature. They're attracted to that. So that's what we kind of want to do. And in June, you have a real good ability to do that. Should you stop kind of obsessing and hyper-focusing in on this? Take that breath and start to have some fun. Because when it's kind of a win-win thing. You're starting to get out of that funk about being single and getting into that fun of, well, I like to do this. It brings me joy and happiness, especially activities. Look at those physical pieces, because you want to be connected with people who have like interests. So when you get out there and you start to enjoy, you start to sow seeds of, this is what I like. And you're going to meet like-minded people. They have the same interests. And again, your energy, especially when you're having fun, you start to attract that, well, you start to attract the soulmates. And know you have more than one soulmate. And soulmates don't always have to be a sexual relationship. It can be friendships. It's where you get those soul sisters, those soul brothers, where you're like, wow, I connect with you and you understand me. And I don't have to explain myself, because energetically there's that connection. So no, it doesn't matter what type of relationship you're looking for. You have the ability to attract multiple connections that are going to be supportive of you as you go forward. You have two major arcanas. They're both in reversal. Or sorry, you have two major arcanas. One is in reversal, but that reversal is not a resistance. It's just kind of something that you have to focus more in on. The trick and guidance, the trick about the guidance that you get from tarot or from any divinational is that it's not just us knowing this information and sitting on it. We have to do some work. And I think that's part of it. Letting go and just having some fun. Know that the Hanged Man, he usually has his hands behind his back, which I can understand. He couldn't do that with the wings. We don't know what tricks are up his sleeve. And doesn't matter what predicaments, expectations, and demands that are going on. He is using his natural abilities, his natural skills, trusting in the high vibrational energy, and kind of manifesting what he needs. And I think that's part of what we're looking at doing here. Start manifesting, start bringing in and drawing the energy and people that you want to you, because there's a lot of new beginnings happening. So I can see the friendship group, those supports increasing, including that special someone. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions, Jordan? I love it. The sun and the stars, the balance. So again, we have that masculine in the sun, the feminine in the moon. It does not matter what gender we identify with. We need that balance in life. Whether we feel like we can nurture self, or we can feel like we have that stability within life. It's important that we have time to, well, balance life. And I think that June is going to be a very nice marker for you to bring in balance and bring in, kind of like usher in summer in a way that is going to be kind of a stepping stone into more amazing opportunities, not only in love, but in connection. Came out of a broken engagement. You know what? I think that with that that disconnect and that change, I think for you to literally get out of your head and have some fun will really help. And I think that's why I was getting more of you know what? It's going to be relationships, and that it's there's going to be a lot of friendships, and I think that they're connections that you need that have nothing to do with that past engagement and that section of life for you. That's why we have those new beginnings. But don't, like I said, that balance, have some fun. And knowing that when you have something like a broken up and great engagement, you may want to look at, for you, just even doing some emotional releasing. I do have some meditations here on the channel. I have one with Archangel Metatron that I did back in 2020, where it's just letting go of that emotion. I also have one, it's a cord cutting meditation. You may want to try that as well, just to break you like free of those type of connections. Just little things to make you feel stronger. Because there are so many opportunities in June, whether or not you decide to go into a romantic relationship. But like I said, soulmates can be more than just a romantic relationship. They can be a very, very deep friendship that you may need right now. Do you have any other questions? Thank you so much for letting me read for you. So I'm not too sure who's still hanging around, but I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I hope that the readings helped. Like I said, I do readings on Twitch as well. I will be live again tomorrow. I do every Friday, I do a weekly exploration into what you can expect from the week ahead. And I do it on Friday so that you guys have a couple days to get ready, so you can, you know, get your tools in order, kind of look at it, because anytime you're looking at a mapping situation like that, know that it's not written in stone. You can make changes, and knowing in advance does help. So I will be live again tomorrow on YouTube just to explore that. And I always have these sessions where I open up the floor at the end to my friends who are in chat for a reading. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic, phenomenal day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Until tomorrow, my friends.